today, so you had to go there.
Hi, welcome to Neighborhood News. I'm John Sylvia here with Carlos Caesar.
Hi, John.
How's it going?
Again,
So
Tuesday.
another week gone by?
Another week went by, 7:30 on a Tuesday night, and we're back for one more Neighborhood News. And this time, like I do every week, I want to welcome the Portuguese community. Sejam bem-vindos a mais uma noite das suas notícias da sua vizinhança. E como acontece todas as semanas, já à terça-feira, às 7:30 da noite, canal 95, nós estamos aqui com mais convidados para falar com todos vós.
Okay, great. Well, we have a guest today, actually two guests from the Fall River Street Tree Planting Program, MaryAnn Wordell and Mike Keane. Welcome.
Welcome.
Glad to be here.
Having us.
Well, if you guys could just tell us a little bit about the program, how it started, and just a little bit about the program itself.
Okay, I'm a retired nurse, but when I was working, I traveled along Highland Avenue and Robeson Street for many years, and I noticed there was a deterioration in the condition of the trees, and new trees were not being planted. So when I retired, I went to see Mayor Lambert, who had just been elected, and I went with Rick Kitchen, who was in charge of the tree department, and asked if we could address the lack of tree planting and tree care. And this developed into a public-private partnership between the Fall River Garden Club, who provided the funds, and then the city providing the labor. And then eventually we became incorporated as a nonprofit in approximately the year 2000. And we are the only tree planting program in the city, because the city of Fall River does not have a tree planting program.
Okay, great, great. So how in the last few years because you were just saying that the city basically is not involved in the tree planting process at all. How many trees have been planted in the last, say, since you guys have been in existence the last 10 years?
Well, we have planted over 1,000 trees, and I would like to make it very clear that we didn't pay for all of those trees. We've been very, very fortunate to receive grants, and we've had donations, and when it started off, like I mentioned, the Fall River Garden Club did give us startup funds, but over the years we have also done a lot of fundraising. So when we get applications from citizens, usually we plant between 40 and 60 trees a year, and each one of those trees costs approximately $200 each. The program works in two ways. The first way is that one citizen can request a tree for in front of their home. They pay $100 and we match it, so they get a $200 tree. The second way is that a group of neighbors within 1 or 2 city blocks request from 5 to 10 trees. They pay $50 per tree, and we pay up to $150. The city usually picks up the tree, the city removes the sidewalk, and we have trained tree stewards who put in the trees.
Okay, and you know what? This is your flyer, so that's regarding that.
Yep.
So that's
This is
important
our
to see.
flyer.
Yeah.
That's our application.
There you go. And I think this it's really important to note that this is not costing the city any money at all. That this organization is pretty much, coming up with this. It's not costing the taxpayers anything at all to do this.
No, the city does help. I'd like to acknowledge that. They do go out and measure and assess the site, and there are strict standards for distance, like before and after stop signs, distance from driveways, and unfortunately, we have not been able to grant some homeowners trees because of those distant measurements, but they're all based on safety. Like I said, we have put in over 1,000 trees, and I would like the citizens of Fall River to know that we do have money available, and we'd like very much to receive more applications from the citizens. We had a survey many years ago, and it showed that actually Fall River streets are tree-starved, and there are an excess number of trees, especially in the south end, that have no trees whatsoever. The streets are barren, and of course the more trees you have, the bigger the canopy and the bigger the benefits. And I think it's really important for people to recognize all the value and benefits that trees bring to a community. The health benefits, for one, are amazing.
We talk a lot about city beautification, and which is important. I see what we do as an organization, the Street Tree Planting Program, as a component of city beautification. I think we all feel that way. In addition to that, or an extension of that, is improving the quality of life for city residents. There are many, many benefits when you really start to educate and learn about the benefits of trees. There are a tremendous number of benefits that trees can bring to the city.
What is the responsibility of the person that required the tree in front of their property after the plantation?
We request that they water that tree. There's a certain quantity of water that the tree needs to have on a weekly basis. And as far as management beyond that, the tree stewards do go out and do pruning and some maintenance, but we really request that the homeowner or the neighborhood really sort of stand by and support us by doing the maintenance. Routine watering is really key.
And it is a difference in trees depending by the area or the size of the sidewalk and stuff like that?
The most important criteria is the site. If there are wires above, of course you can only have a tree that's maybe 20, 25 feet. Also, what reason does the citizen want it? Is it to provide shade for a very sunny area? Is it just for beauty? So it depends on the site and the reason. But there are a great number of trees that can be purchased, and those that provide the biggest canopy are ones that we strive to put in, because again, the bigger the canopy, the more benefits you're going to receive. Environmental benefits, health benefits, prevention of stormwater drainage, all those are important. Downtown areas, if you plant them along a downtown area where there's a lot of concrete and cement, it cools the city. So you cut down on energy cost associated with air conditioning and heating. So trees are really magnificent in what they provide.
Something to add to that I found was interesting. I was reading the Providence Journal over the weekend. They had interviewed a Brown University professor who had done a study on the benefits of trees. I don't know if you saw that article or not, but and looking at the benefits of trees in the city or within the city of Providence in different neighborhoods. So the group went around to a section of the city that had a tremendous number of trees and had the tree canopy versus a section of the city that was barren, had no trees. And they found on average that the temperatures were about 10 to 15 degrees cooler in the neighborhoods that had the trees. And they also tried to quantify, that benefit in terms of what the dollars would be. And they looked at, I think it was a savings of between 8 to 10% on a homeowner's energy bill. So there is a benefit.
I mean, it's if you have a tree on your yard, and by now, if you have a green area, by now you can notice the difference. The green under the tree and the green outside the shed of the tree. It's a tremendous difference, and that just tells you and that proves you that keeps things cooler. So
Mike mentioned Providence, but Fall River right now is in the middle of doing an inventory of all street trees in Fall River. We have had 2 training sessions, and this is being done by the Urban Ecology Institute out of Boston with the Fall River Street Tree Planting Program and the city. And we have had volunteers go out through all parts of the city, and they do it by blocks with a handheld instrument, and they identify the type of tree, the condition, where it's located, if there's an empty planting pit near it, and then the city will be able to compile a database about all the trees in the city and hopefully implement a management plan based on that information.
So that project's going on right now,
It's
right?
going on right
So you
now.
don't have numbers yet?
Well, we have preliminary results, the city does. I have minimal results, and what I can share is what I know we got 10 years ago about the variety of trees. We know that there are overplanting of Norway maple. Norway maple should not be planted. There's too many. You do not want a monoculture. If you get all of Norway maples, that would constitute a monoculture, or any type of maple for that matter. We have too many lindens and cherry. So based on that information 10 years ago, we diversified our plantings. We do not plant Norway maple. We do not plant linden, although they're nice trees. And the reason you want to avoid monocultures is what happened with Dutch elm disease many years ago. You get a disease and it wipes out your entire tree population. So diversity is very important. Now we plant different kinds of elms because they have disease-resistant varieties. We plant yellow wood, sweet gum, different kinds of maples. We planted a lot of pear, and now we're really overabundance with pear trees.
Well, you'd given me some pictures, and I don't know if this can be picked up, but this is a tree in Maplewood Park on Albert Street. And I know this has been probably one of your concerns in the committee on some of the trees are not being maintained that have been there for years. Do you want to speak a little bit about that?
Well, when we did part of the survey, we tried to get all the areas of the city, and I know that there is only so much that the city can address with a budget, but city parks have to be addressed with the trees, and the more people know about the benefits of trees, hopefully they will push for a tree budget, and then the city government will be able to take care of the trees in city parks, and they do need care. But people have to value it and help promote a budget for trees.
And the pictures that I see here, is anything that could be done about this?
Well, you can advocate very strongly for a budget.
Yes.
And an arborist and employees with a bucket truck And the city is trying. They've got openings now, I believe, for two men to address some of these issues, but there'll be such a backload and a backlog that it will take a very long time. But I do want to make it clear that we do have a contract now and with an arborist, and some of these needs will be addressed. We have to keep plugging for a good tree budget, though.
And I think that's probably a testament to you guys, because when you advocate like that, you did get the tree warden. I mean, so, and I don't think that would have happened earlier. So you want to? I know you guys are working on a project now at Cuss Middle School. Do you want to talk about how this came about and what's really happening there? Because again, this is where the city just does not have the money to do these things, and this is a nonprofit coming in to put this together.
You don't know about that.
Yeah,
Okay, people call me and they tell me about tree problems, and they also mentioned very good things. They told me that the city had planted a tremendous amount of trees when the Cuss Middle School was built. So I said, well, I'm going to go down and take a look. And the person who told me that was absolutely right. There has to be at least 75 trees and a good variety of trees all along the property of Cuss. And I was glad to see that number. But when I got there, I noticed that there was no tree care. And the pits were all full of grass, and there were suckers at the base of the trees, and a lot of dead leaders, and a great deal of pruning that needed to be done. So we got a group of tree stewards. There was a class that completed the tree steward course in April, and we have had at least 20 tree stewards on 2 separate occasions clean the tree pits at Cuss, and we did a lot of pruning, and we've applied mulch, and we've watered. And we have done a lot in 2 attempts to correct the problems there. But if anyone is available, we will continue to be there on Thursday evenings from 5 to 7 or 6 to 8, and on Saturday mornings at 8 o'clock. And we will continue on those days until hopefully we address all the needs at Cuss.
Okay. How about this guy here, who wants to talk about the Asian longhorn? I'll give you a chance, Mike.
No, you can go ahead on the Asian.
Okay, here you go.
Oh, this is
There's a lot we could talk about.
really bad bug. The Asian longhorn beetle came into Massachusetts be 4 years on August 1st. This is a very destructive insect, and it starts off, of course, as an egg and goes into the tree and burrows right inside of it. And then probably in July sometime, it comes out as an adult insect, going through a larval stage and a pupa stage. But it's extremely destructive, especially to maple, elm, willow, horse chestnut. And the only way that you can treat it are by destruction and removal of the tree that is impacted, and also any host trees. So it's extreme danger to Massachusetts forests. It's in Worcester and about 4 communities around Worcester. And all that area is under quarantine. No wood can be removed from there, especially firewood. It's extremely important not to remove firewood or anything from that quarantine area. If it impacts on our maple sugar industry, which is a little bit further north, or our timber industry, it will have a severe economic impact on Massachusetts.
Okay, great. So are you always looking, you're always looking for folks to volunteer and help out, right?
We certainly are.
Okay, great.
We're doing an assessment for Asian longhorn beetle tomorrow at 5:30, between 5:30 and 6 at Lower North Park. And there's a group of tree stewards who have gone through the training for assessment of Asian longhorn beetle.
Okay, great. Okay.
And what we would encourage people, if they are interested in participating, is to get in touch with us. Our website is fallrivertrees.org. We also have a Facebook page as well, and that keeps current very frequently, so there's a lot of information on that as well.
Great. Is there anything, I know you had a couple other things you wanted to talk about, MaryAnn. Is there anything that I've forgotten?
I'm getting hoarse.
I'm sorry. Well, you know, why don't I talk, I'm going to switch gears then and give you a slight break. And because Mike is also part of the Oak Grove Cemetery.
That's right. That's sort of how I got involved with the street tree planting program. I established the Friends of Oak Grove Cemetery back in 2007, and one of the first things that I sort of shared the same feeling that MaryAnn had, you know, when she recounted when she drove around the city and saw the trees and the condition of many of the trees. I have felt that way about Oak Grove Cemetery for a long time, and many of those trees are well over 100 years old that date back to when the cemetery first opened in 1855. So one of the first things I did is I met with the park board, and the park board said the person you need to speak with is MaryAnn. So that's sort of how we got together, and in Oak Grove Cemetery we've planted a little over 50 trees. This year will be about 54, 55 trees total, and all of that work has been, you know, with the assistance of the tree stewards. So they've been a remarkable asset for Oak Grove and for the entire city. And we didn't really get to talk about some of the training or the training that the tree stewards need to go through, but over about 6 sessions or 6 courses, dealing with everything from tree maintenance to understanding soil composition, all of the sort of critical factors and understanding how to plant and maintain a tree are addressed in these courses. So I'm trying to remember how many tree stewards we've got now, but there's quite a few of them. They're very active.
We have approximately 25 active tree stewards, and they're amazing. Very, very helpful. This last group has been right there, eager, willing to help, participating. And then we have some that have gone through the training twice previously, and they've been very consistent in helping to address tree care in Fall River. There are 2 other things that I wanted to talk about, and you may not be aware of it, but we have a memorial tree planting program, and if anyone is interested in planting a tree at any city park, like in honor of a deceased relative or to celebrate the birth of a child, we will do that in collaboration with the city park department. We get approval from the city park department, and the citizen can choose where they would like to plant the tree. We get the permission from the park department. Again, the city will pick up the tree. The tree stewards will plant it, and we do encourage the citizens to try and get out to water it, because it's impossible for us to water all the trees. But there are memorial trees at Kennedy Park, and there are quite a few memorial trees at North Park. But all the parks could use new trees, so that is a program that is available, and the cost for that tree is $200. And the reason it's $200 is it's a good-sized tree and it has a better chance of survival. And again, you can go on our website and find out about our memorial tree program. And the other thing that I wanted to mention was our fundraising. We have a couple of ways that we raise funds to pay for the trees, and that is by the collection of inkjet and laser cartridges. And if any business or any individual would like to help out, you can go to Recycle First, and there's a list of acceptable cartridges. We'll be glad to pick them up, and we mail them out, and Recycle First sends us money. And we also have Domino's cards, pizza cards for sale, which is a tremendous opportunity to help us. If you buy one Domino's card for $10, you can get an additional pizza or whatever you buy for the same price. And it's good for up to 2 years, and you can use it 16 different times. For anyone who has children, teenagers especially, that's a good buy.
Definitely.
No, very, very interesting. And it's something probably that I can try to help because, like everybody knows, I'm the vice president from the Flint Merchants Association, and I have a lot of banks and a lot of restaurants that use a lot of cartridges. So if I put on my next letter for them to donate us, our association, that, and then we can just give them to you, and so it's another way to help.
That would be wonderful.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah.
Very good.
Okay, well, thanks a lot, folks. It went by really quick.
Yeah.
Sure did.
So we have to give you a break, MaryAnn.
Yeah.
But thanks a lot.
You're welcome. Our
we
pleasure.
We do have a couple minutes, and let me just very quick ask you something. And you remember the trees that we have on Pleasant Street right now?
Yes.
We. Mayor Lambert removed the old ones that were way too big and covering the signs and all of that. Is this trees the same kind of trees that we had before they on Pleasant Street? Do you remember that?
The kind you have, I believe, is a Cleveland pear, and it should reach probably 40 feet.
40 feet? Okay. Because the other ones were really, really big, and they were very fat too.
Wide.
So
This is more columnar. They should be more columnar.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. But those trees cannot be cut on top, right?
Definitely not.
Okay. Okay. See? We have the doctor tree here.
I know, there we go. Thanks.
That's what we should call it,
Things
the doctor
I
tree.
just would like to mention that a recent developments, if we have time, that I'm proud of. One is that we finally have put forth the tree ordinance after many years of working hard. Our organization has completed that. So, and the second thing is the creation of a memorial grove in memory of some of the deceased servicemen at North Park. So it's something I think we're very proud of.
That memorial grove is not complete. When you look at it, the trees are there, but the city has got to do a walkway.
Oh.
Yep.
Okay, very good.
Great, thanks a lot, folks.
Thank you. Thank
you.
you for coming.
You're welcome.
And see you next week.
Next week,
We'll be here.
same time. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.